Hi, Mikhail Bragin is here. So this time I will describe what flanger and chorus are. I will explain how they work, and then I will explain why I chose them for my project. Flanger, I think it's a very great effect. Flanger effect creates this kind of sci-fi sound effect. It would fit very well the Star Wars movie. Okay, so let me explain what the flanger is. Flanger is an audio effect produced by mixing two identical signals together. One of the signals is delayed by a small and gradually changing period. The period is typically smaller than 20 milliseconds. Basically, flanger is a comb filter that is put in motion. Let me use this effect and show you what it does. So let's hear this solo without flanger and then with flanger. Okay, so it already sounds like it has some cosmic effect, but we want to add a little bit of eerie flavor to it. So let's see, flanger. Okay, so let me explain what those sliders mean. The original expanded slider, it's roughly at 50% right now. It combines the equal amounts of the original source and the effect. Then initial mix delay and final mix delay slider, they determine when flanging will begin and end with respect to the original sound. Stereo phasing is used to rotate the delay of the left and right channels. So when the value is 180, one channel starts at the initial mix delay and the other channel will start at final mix delay value. If it's 0, then both channels will start with initial mix delay value. The amount of the effect return is determined as percentage using the feedback slider. I will choose it to be 0 because if there is too much of the effect sent back, then the delay, this small delay, will be played forever. And so basically what we will hear is sound with a high pitch. So in the rate, we need to put those two signals in motion, and the frequency with which it's done, I choose 0.5. I don't want it to be too high because this will create this kind of a turmoil effect, as I will show you a little bit later. And I want my music to have a little bit of a laid-back effect. So let's see what happens if I use this effect. Alright, so the frequency is too high. It creates, such as a turmoil. If feedback is too high, then like I promised, there will be too many high-pitched sounds. So we don't want that. So let me apply this. Let me apply this and see what happens. Okay. Alright. Let's play together with other tracks. Yeah, I think it sounds better. It already has this kind of sci-fi effect. Let's move forward, and the next effect I'm going to talk about is chorus, because it can also add this sci-fi sound effect. By definition, a chorus effect occurs when individual sounds with roughly the same timbre and nearly the same pitch converge and are perceived as one sound. In real life, similar sounds coming from multiple sources can occur, let's say, in choir or an orchestra. We can also simulate this effect using electronic effects. So, without further ado, let me show you how this is done. So now we see a couple of fields that are different from what we saw in flanger. Thickness. Thickness field sets the number of voices that used in the effect. Adding voices will add thicker quality. Such effect can be achieved by adding more people to the choir. But as the number of voices increases, the quality and clarity of the source can be compromised. So let's see further. One of the qualities of the chorus is the slight time differences and pitch variations between singers. The max delay field limits the amount of delay time variation the effect uses to simulate this quality. As with thickness setting, higher values will affect the tightness and quality of the effect. The delay rate, it controls the modulation of the delay and results in variations of each voice as the pitch of the sample is increased or decreased over time. The delay value increases the amount of pitch variation. As in flanger, feedback controls the amount of affected signal routed back. As for three other things here, Let me just show you, it will be clear once we hear it. So spread, let's start with 0. Seems like those sounds are close together, but I want this cosmic sound, I want those sounds to be kind of spread throughout the entire space. So increasing this value will add the volume to the sound. Let's see what happens if I change vibrato depth. The vibrator will be just louder. This is not what I want because, again, it adds some turmoil. And at this value, it's pretty good. Vibrator rate, okay. If it's too high, again, it adds this kind of turmoil effect. I'm changing it back. So let's use it and hear it. Okay. Alright, so let's hear the entire thing. Yeah, I think this, now it sounds pretty good. In conclusion, I think both Flanger and Chorus, even though there are some differences, they intensify this sci-fi, they actually created this sci-fi sound effect and intensified the cosmic effect that I wanted for my composition.